Evet, herkese merhabalar. L.A Noire'un 7. bölüm olması gerekiyor. 7. bölümüyle kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Ablanın kafası güzel. Belli.
Good morning, gentlemen, and what a grand morning it is, too. We have just cause for celebration. Galloway and Phelps are sending another fiend to San Quentin. A nice showy trial,
Evet.
and he'll be strapped down with gas seeping into his tiny reptile brain. Now, to fresh business. Galloway and Phelps, the task is at hand. The address is on the hill, north downtown off Fremont Avenue.
Hocam her gün cinayet.
Skipper, is the new letter genuine?
Now, boys, we all know how many imbeciles have confessed in the short case. Ray Pinker will let us know in good time.
If olive oil comes from olives, where's baby oil come from?
Aha.
I want to stop him with one round. Sam is taking me to Palm Springs for the weekend.
Olay mahalline gidelim.
That's the cost in the newspaper.
Greetings from sunny California. When's it gonna stop?
Hadi lan Galloway, çabuk gel.
First the letter, and now another body.
Şimdi
Come on,
başka
you
bir
can't keep on
ceset.
telling me there's not a killer still out there.
You know, Phelps, all these
Yani bakmamıza gerek yok ya.
reputation. You don't want them turning into unsolved.
Getting a vicious killer off the streets is more important than my reputation.
Really?
And besides, landing a big fat marlin is more impressive than an ocean full of minnows.
The minnows
Yeah.
make it the man. Phelps. You can't always hit home runs. Sometimes you just gotta make the first one.
Oğlum oyunun araba sürüşü çok garip ya. Araba sanki böyle tutunmuyor.
That guy there will lead us up.
I'm steeling myself from what I'm about to see.
That'll just be another dead body. We used to sing every gig when we worked the homicide calls.
Bir bölümün adı Beyaz Ayakkabı. Ondan sonra ne yazıyordu? Bir şey beyaz ayakkabı ama ondan sonrasını göremedim.
Detectives,
Phelps and Galloway, homicide.
scene secure. The rest of the patrolmen are going door to door, canvassing for witnesses.
Thanks. Keep me informed.
Will do, Detective.
This looks awfully familiar.
I think that's the impression the boys from the Examiner took with them as well.
There's nothing original under the sun.
Bırakalım
Why
bir şey.
should murder be any different?
What do we have so far?
Not much trace evidence to speak of. Storm blew in around 10 last night, and the rain washed most of it away.
And the body?
Looks like she was tipped out of an automobile from the tire tracks and superficial injuries. Strangled with a length of rope. And for my money,
Değil mi?
it's triple braid again.
Allah'ım yarabbim.
From her temperature, maybe 2 a.m., but it was cold last night.
Usual head injuries.
Blunt force trauma. Knock him over the head, then strangle and mutilate. No message with this one.
At least she was left clothed.
I doubt very much he was concerned with her dignity.
The green silk dress is very distinctive. Any sign of
Diğer
her other shoe?
ayakkabısının
No. And no handbag or other personal effects.
hırsızlık gibi ama hırsızlık da değil gibi.
There appears to be a dry cleaning
Temizleme
label.
etiketi var.
Superior Laundry Services, F1363.
F1363. Tamam.
Another day, another dollar.
Başka eline bakalım bir de. Herhangi bir şey takı yok. Bir de bu ele bakalım. Tamamdır. İşte ne işimiz olacak?
No drag marks. The killer was moving around, surveying the scene. Our driver and
Süper
our killer
vakat
are
görünüşe göre
most
aynı
likely
kişi.
one and the same.
$5 yerde duruyor. O zaman demek ki hırsızlık değil.
Optimistic, Cole.
This guy was willing to rat his own mother after I sweated him.
Başka bir şey yok ki. Tanık mı geldi? Buyurun hanımefendi.
Detectives, I've been working the houses across the street and up the block. This lady thinks she has something for us.
Detective Phelps, LAPD.
I'm Mrs. Barton, Catherine Barton. I live just across the way.
Did you see anyone around here last night?
Not last night, but
120
yesterday
akşam
early
erken
evening,
saatlerinde.
I saw that awful hobo.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt,
Uzun
horribly
cılız tipsizin
disfigured. I
teki.
think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all
Hepsi onu
follow him
takip
around.
ediyor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Tamam,
You've been a
teşekkürler.
big help.
Of course. Anything I can do to help. I'd hate to think that something so ghastly could happen right here and nothing be done about it.
Bir dakika üstten bir arama yapalım da.
Phelps, badge 1247.
How can I help, Detective?
I need an address on Superior Laundry Services.
Just a moment.
Just a moment. Hadi gidelim.
Superior Laundry Services. 1260 West First Street.
1260 Batı
Can you
Elinde
track down
Caddesi.
reports of
Tamam.
hobo camps in the vicinity of Signal Hill?
Just a moment, Detective. There's a large camp under the bridge on Grand between
Köprünün
Temple
altında
and
büyük bir
Sunset.
kamp var.
Thanks for your help.
Önce bir biz gene eve gidelim de. Hani kurt adam değil yüksek ihtimalle çünkü Karadalya şeyi yok. Bizim araba nerede burada?
You know the way. You can drive.
Ben söylesem.
And where exactly are we going? No message.
Excuse me?
There was no message.
Where?
On the Vic. Last body's
Önceki
got something
listelerde bir
written.
şeyler yazıyordu. Bunda yok.
I'm failing to follow you.
Can't be the same guy is what I'm saying, right? Before you start trying to link this to Maldonado and all the others.
There are
Yani,
more factors to
belki
consider
bunu
than the messages,
diğerlerini
Rusty.
This doesn't fit
kurt
your
adam yapmış
pattern.
olabilir.
End of conversation. Understand?
Ama bunu yapmamış olabilir. Bu biraz daha diğerlerinden farklı.
At least the rain stopped. Change back into those white bucks.
Please. Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
LAPD.
We're investigating a case, and one of your laundry labels came up. F1363.
If you give me a minute, I'll go find a register and you can take a look. You take a look for yourself. I've got clothes that need pressing.
You wrote the number down on that dress, is it there?
F neydi? 363 müydü?
Mrs. T. Terrellson, 43
Aynen.
Emerald Street, Westlake.
Görüşmek üzere. Oğlum makineler ne ses yaptı be?
You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Önce eve gidelim de oradan serseri kampına gideriz.
I've got a feeling we're about to meet another wife killer.
You've always got that feeling, Rusty.
Yeah, and it's usually correct.
Please, please, for once, can you not let your assumptions color your detective work?
Just you wait. Nordic types show a particular disposition for this stuff.
Kuzeyliler böyle için. Hı. 43 Emerald Caddesi. Bak gene tekne var. 3 şeyli halat var. Sallanıyor orada. Neyse.
Hello? Yes?
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. Is your wife home, sir?
My wife went out last night and she hasn't come home.
Can you describe your wife and what she was wearing?
We were out at a friend's place, Bobby Ross's, for a party. She was kind of dolled up. She had her green silk dress, open-toed white shoes. Those are her favorite shoes.
Can we come in, Mr. Tarleton? I'm afraid we have some rather bad news. Do you have someone who can look after your children, Mr. Tarleton?
I've been trying to arrange a sitter. Look, tell me what's happened.
Eşiniz
I'm afraid your
öldürüldü.
wife was murdered last night. Her body was found this morning. We're very sorry for your loss. I know this is a difficult time, Mr. Tarleton, but we are going to need you to answer some questions. First, we're going to take a look around.
What for? You don't think
It's
that...
procedure. You see to your girls.
Kızlar da ne değişik suratlı şey yapmışlar ya.
Stay here till Daddy's finished talking to these men.
Where's Mommy?
Everything's gonna be all right, sweetheart.
We would like Mommy to come home now, Daddy.
What's the problem, Tarleton? Let him search. You got nothing to hide.
Evet.
You want to hear something funny, Tarleton?
Bu ne?
Some bumps been filling out a missing person.
To check if she was a regular.
Ben onun barını araştır. Tamam, bu neymiş?
I wonder why the picture was turned down.
Resim ters. Tamam, bunlara baktık.
Probably nothing.
Tamam. Burada ne varmış?
Don't think this is any use to us.
Bu ne?
Don't think this
Bu
is...
da bir işe yaramaz.
Baron's
Fazlaca
bar.
gidiliyor.
Someone must be real sweet on this dive.
If you'd excuse me, ladies.
This doesn't pertain to the case.
Normal ilgisi yok. Tamam.
So she went out without her handbag?
Maktulün çantası.
She'd have to be in quite a state to leave this behind.
1910 doğumluymuş. Burada ne var? Ruju vesaire
Wish she'd spared
burada.
that particular indignity.
Gitmek üzere mi? Başka bir şey yok herhalde. Koyalım. O çamurlu botlar.
We can see if Baker can match the impression to the crime scene. Bars was
Islanmış.
out in the rain last night.
Ceket. Etrafa da bir bakalım. Burada müzik kesildi. Köpek kulübesi.
Looks like a match with the ligature marks.
Telefonla görüşmeye niye gideceğiz? Bir gidelim hemen madem.
He just refuses to accompany me to church.
Evin içinde telefon yok muydu ki? Biz buraya kadar geldik de neyse.
Phelps, 1247.
Budget number 1247.
How could I help, Detective?
Can you run an address for a Bobby Ross? Then send some uniforms over.
Would you like him picked up?
No. Suspect says he was with Ross last night. We need to confirm the alibi.
I'll get a prowl car dispatched.
Thank you.
Ha, tamam hadi eve gidelim şimdi. Başka da bir şey kalmadı gibi zaten.
For the record, Mr. Tarleton, what is your wife's name?
Teresa.
Teresa.
Do you have any idea why anyone would want to hurt your wife?
No. Everyone loved Teresa. She was so full of life. It can't be anyone who knew her.
Onu tanıyan biri yapmış olamaz. Doğru söylüyor gibi.
So you don't know anyone who would want her dead?
No, I don't.
Yanlış oldu.
You said you went to a party at Bobby Ross's place?
That's right, Bobby had a bunch of people over. We were having a good time. She said she was bored and decided to leave.
You let your drunk wife leave the party and go off on her own?
Look, I was angry. I was having a good time. She has to go and ruin it. We always have to do what she wants to do. Last night she wanted to go dancing.
Any idea where?
Where she always goes. A bar down on North Beaudry Avenue. Baron's Bar. She goes there, drinks too much, gets maudlin, and calls me. I go and bring her home.
Mr. Tarleton, was Teresa happy at home?
Yeah, I think she was.
Değildi.
Spill it, Tarleton. We like the look of you for this.
Ağızdaki
So you
baklayı
better
çıkart
give us
bence de.
something.
We're at the party. She has a few and says she wants to go out dancing. We only have the sitter until 9. I get mad. I tell her to go ahead, but I'm staying. She storms out. Look, I'm doing well at cards. I hardly ever do
Haber
well.
değiller hiç fena değil. Tamam onun evlendim çünkü çok eğlenceli biridir ama şimdi beni deli ediyor.
What time did she leave the party?
About 8:30, maybe a little earlier.
When was the last time you saw your wife?
Around 8:30.
8:30
Card game
civarı.
at Bobby's was wrapping up. I played out my hand and drove home here. I paid the sitter and went to bed.
Karın dışarıda olacaksan yalan
You're lying,
söylüyorsun.
Lars.
Hem
You
de
didn't
ıslak
come
ceket
straight home,
vardı.
did you?
And how do you figure that?
You were out in the rain. You got soaked, Lars. We
Bak
found your wet
kıyafetlerine
weather
bak.
gear.
Okay, I stayed a little later than I said. This cute little brunette was hitting on me. Teresa noticed. I was half cut. I walked her home from Bobby's, but nothing happened.
Niye doğrusu söylüyorsun o zaman aslanım?
Thanks for answering our questions, Mr. Tarleton. You'll need to go downtown to identify your wife's body.
I should have taken her dancing.
In my experience, Mac, if you give in to broads, you'll be giving in to them your entire life. Sounds like the Tarleton broad has...
Günlük bizim takım elbise mi gelmiş ya? Ünlülerin yolu. Evet, birkaç kıyafet daha gelmiş. Olmasa değiştiririz bir ara. Hatta dur değiştirelim direkt. Chicago fırtınası güzeldi.
Appreciate your time, sir. You
Ben
drive.
sürsene.
I need to go over the case notes.
And where exactly are we going?
Bara gidelim önce bir.
You believe this guy's story?
Kind of rings true.
Serseri kampına en son gideriz. Serseri kampı şu anlık çok şey değil. Sadece takip edildiğine dair bir şey var da. Bunu kocası yapmış sanırım.
Gents, drink?
Phelps and Galloway, LAPD.
LAPD Deniz.
This about Teresa Terrellson?
Yes, it is.
I heard about it on the radio. They're saying it was that Black Dahlia freak again? God damn it.
Kocasının
Yeah, I
kulağını
rang that husband of hers. The babysitter said he was out.
Bak bakın
If
size
you don't mind, we
çıkmıştır.
have a few questions. What time did Teresa leave?
Around 10:30, I think.
10:30 gibi. Doğru.
On foot, in a car, by bus? How was it?
She called for a cab.
Did you get the number?
Sure I did. I like Teresa. The only time she
seni
has a
severim.
drink is
Sadece
when
Teresa
things aren't
seversin.
going so good at home. I was worried about her.
Bakalım ne?
Put out an APB on the cab.
Taksi arama emri çıkartalım.
3591. Should be traceable.
3591. Tamam.
Who was she with? We've had reports about a tall, gaunt-looking hobo. He wasn't here last
Dün
night?
gece burada değil
I get
miydi?
plenty of bums in here, but nothing to fit that description.
Elini böyle bir arkaya götürdü gibi falan. Bence bir
The
kötü
likelihood
polislik
is that
yapalım.
whoever she left here with killed her. Give it up, Benny.
All right, two creeps were all
Hepsi
over.
etrafında dolanınca onu dansa kaldıracaklarını söylüyorlardı.
You get a good look at these guys?
Sure, I got a good look. One of them was a sailor in uniform. His cap said, USS Indiana.
And the other man?
The other guy is Richard
Bates.
Bates. He's sitting in the back right now. Red polo shirt.
Ha.
Any idea where she was headed?
Nope. I didn't get that.
Ya oğlum bu da bence bir şüpheli modu verdi bana ya. Şüpheli mi desek?
The husband said she wanted to go dancing.
And she always wants to
Doğru
dance when
diyelim.
she's been drinking.
Ki doğru bilmişiz iyi.
She was trying to talk some guys into taking her to one of the dance halls.
Thank you for your help, Mr. Clough. We'll take it from here.
Hey, no problem.
This is Bates.
Bates bu mu?
That's him.
LAPD! Don't make me chase you, shitbird!
Oğlum
Can't let the
uğraştırma
son of a
işte.
bitch get away!
He wants a 5-star goddamn wedding.
Bates! We just want to talk!
Come on, got a ride. Get in and drive.
Dur. Oğlum bu değil mi? Lan ben de bu araba sanıyordum.
I thought you were gonna leave me there.
Who knows what this guy will pull when he's cornered? We could have a killer on our hands.
Come on, Phelps, you're letting this slut get away from you.
Tamam dur kovalıyorum yetiştim. Abi bunlar kırılmıyor mu ya? Yanlış yaptık ya. Herifi kaçırmayalım da.
I don't think the killer would be kicking back in the bar where he met the Vic in.
Listen, a creature of habit is your killer. For
Logic.
some reason, they're sticklers for routine.
Don't go to sleep on me. Get me back in close.
Hadi. Aslanım yorma
Let's
bizi.
end this farce.
Keep it steady and I'll try to bust his tires.
All right, you got me.
Give it up.
I've had enough.
Bin araçtan.
Okay, Bates. You're gonna answer some questions.
I have a choice in this.
Last night, you went drinking with a lady in the bar.
Oğlum
Now she's dead.
sen ayvayı yedin.
And your face is all messed up.
I'm in the clear on that. She preferred a sailor. You could lay it off on him. Are we finished?
Tam
Do you
detay
want my
ver lan.
partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
Yok da
She was
tahta
okay.
copa.
Drunk. Pissed off at her old man, wanting to go dancing. I thought I'd ply her with a few drinks and get my end away. Looks like your salty had the same idea.
So what happened when you left the bar?
Sailor boy laid one on me. A cheap shot. After that, I don't know.
Ondan sonrasını bilmiyorum. Bence gene
You've done
Betko.
time, haven't you, Richard? Is that why you ran?
I'm on parole.
On what offense?
Sexual assault. Look, I was lying there
Oh.
on the sidewalk. He flags a cab and jumps in with the broad.
We're taking you in, Bates.
How come?
Just for a chat. Nice private chat. I'll explain my theory of once a degenerate, always a degenerate.
Take him to Central. He's a material witness in a murder case. Find him a cozy cell.
Richard here knows the drill.
Ne? Telefona gidelim bakalım.
Phelps, badge 1247.
Denizci birini arıyoruz yani.
Detective.
I need an APB out on a yellow cab, number 3591. Ask dispatch to relay all sightings to car 11K.
No problem. I'll get on the radio.
Were there any incident reports filed in the vicinity of Barron's Bar on North Beaudry Avenue? We're tracking a sailor who was involved in a fight outside the bar.
I can check the reports,
Kafaları kontrol
detective.
edebilirim.
I have a message for you from Captain Donnelly. Message reads, James Jessup, U.S.
ABD
Navy Naval
donanmasının
Seaman,
gemici
has
tayfana
information relevant to your case. Jessup is currently being detained at Central Station.
Could be our man. Thanks.
Ha, o zaman o olabilir. James.
Can you drive to this one?
Fine. Where are we
Beni
headed?
polis merkezine beni bir götürsene. Galavi sen de çok sürüyorsun kusura bakma ama artık. Ya ne yapalım arkadaşım? O kadar yolda çekmeyelim. Arabanın zaten yol tutuşu o kadar iyi değil. Oyundaki çoğu arabanın öyle değil de.
Yeah, the bum took a swipe at me.
He's in interview too.
Thanks. What do you make of
Eyvallah.
it?
Ne
Sailor on
yaptınız peki?
furlough who looks like he's in trouble and knows it.
I've been in this job 20 years. I never fired him.
Bir saniye. Heh. Pardon.
I didn't come to California
Hadi
to be a
bakalım.
secretary.
Detectives Phelps and Galloway. We know why you're here, Jessup, so it would be best if you answered our questions truthfully.
Bence
I
de
don't
en
want
iyisi
any
olur.
trouble. That's why I'm here. I heard on the radio about this lady getting killed. I got leave from my CO to come down straight away.
So why did you kill her?
I didn't kill anyone. Look, you need to believe me.
Let's start at the beginning.
En baştan alalım bakalım önce bir.
You went to Barron's Bar. What time did you arrive?
Saat kaçtı?
I got a 24-hour pass. I got there around 7.
That's where you met Teresa Terrellson?
Sure. We had a couple of drinks.
İki kadeh içtiniz.
So you tried to make a woman who was
Ya bak.
incredibly drunk?
Look, I'm not proud of myself, but I never hurt her.
You took her dancing?
That's right. Caught a
Bir
cab to the
sabah
Crystal
sonra
Ballroom.
taksi tutmuştuk.
You had a fist fight with Richard Bates over Mrs.
Yumruk
Terrellson.
yumruğa dövüşmüşsünüz.
You met the guy? He's a creep. You should take a look at him for this.
He's pointing the finger directly at you, Jessup.
I only had one night before I was back
Ekmeğinden
in the
önce
tub.
sadece bir gecem
He had all the
vardı.
time in the
O
world to
lavın
look
olay
for some
çıkartması
action.
için
I
bizim.
belted him. I'd do it again. She was better off with me.
Sure. You're a shining example of chivalry, Jessup. We're holding you till we can clear this with the driver.
Yeah, my CO said as much.
Önce o
Can you put
taksi
the
şeyine
guy
mi
in two in a
gideceğiz?
cell and inform the commander?
Sure, Detective. Got a message for you. Sighting of your disfigured hobo on Grand between Temple and Sunset. And it looks like the Beau has a record too. He's wanted in connection with 2 female assaults.
Thanks.
Önce şu taksi işini halledelim, oradan serserilerin kampına gideriz.
I'm telling you, it'll never stick, and you'll get roasted.
You can drive. And where exactly are we going?
Ha,
We ought
direkt
to
buraya gidiyoruz.
investigate the hobo lead.
Well, if you think we ought to, then I guess we ought. 3 suspects in the can and 1 on the hook. And still no hard evidence on any of them.
KGPL to car 11K. 11K, come in.
11K, go ahead.
Patrolman reporting that Bobby Ross's car game is breaking up at midnight.
11K, roger that. Plenty of time to get downtown, Cole.
It's possible. Have them bring him in.
Onu içeri alabilirler.
KGPL, we have Lars Carrollson picked up.
11K, roger.
Serseri kampı. Pompalıyla giriyoruz direkt.
LAPD. We'd like a word
Yine
with you.
konuşmamız gerekiyor.
interested. They're fascists. Come to move us on and
Bizi
steal
buradan
what little
sürmeye,
we have left.
elimizdekileri çalmaya geldiler.
Far, we need you to stay copacetic. We need to hold out for the cavalry.
How do we do that?
Like this.
Buckshot, keep it down, Phelps.
Oğlum silahım yok mu?
Share. We need to fight for it.
Oğlum silah çıkartsak ya. İyi vuruyorsun. İyi iyi. Dövüşmeyi biliyor bu. Kapkamı yerden alabilir miyim yine? Dur. Öleceğim lan. Ah.
What's your name?
Comrade Stalin.
Very funny.
Yoldaş Stalin.
We'll find out from your personal effects.
Stuart Ackerman.
You're under suspicion for murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
Daha fazla şey yapamazsınız. Bakacağız bakalım yapacağız mı yapamayacağız mı?
The Kremlin's over here, Phelps. Toss it.
Yine mi şu
Shoot the line.
gazetelerden? İzleyelim bakalım bunlardan.
I'm off to the Lighthouse Club in Santa Monica.
Hello, Jack. Mr. Benson, this is Courtney Sheldon. He's a buddy of mine from the war.
Well, I'm sure you two will want to polish some old war stories. Good evening, Jack.
İyi akşamlar Bay
Mr.
Sheldon.
Sheldon.
Good night, sir. Take a seat, Courtney. We need your help, Jack. I told you I would have nothing to do with that.
I'm fine too, Jack. Medical school's going well. I got a part-time job.
Do dope peddlers need part-time jobs?
We made a mistake and we're in trouble, Jack. A local gangster,
Yerli
Mickey
gangster.
Cohen, is putting on the squeeze.
So hand it over, walk away. What's stopping you?
We had a deal with them that they would dole it out slowly. They said they would supply abortion clinics and doctors, but they've been moving it on to addicts.
and they can't cope with the purity.
So your problem is with gangsters being dishonest.
My problem is that people are dying, and that if this gets back to us, we'll all end up in jail.
So how am I supposed to help, Courtney? This isn't the war. I can't just wave a magic wand and clean up your mess.
We want you to negotiate.
Anlaşmaya varmanı istiyoruz Jack.
The only thing these guys understand is force, Sheldon. They got to the top back east by proving to be more vicious than the English, the Irish, and the Dutch. They make their own laws. That's the nature of a secret society. For God's sake, Courtney, you want to be a doctor. How can you fight with that?
Abi mikrofon kapalıymış. Ben de 2 saattir kendi kendime konuşuyordum yani. Neyse.
I didn't make it through the war to come back to this kind of shit, Sheldon.
Nesneyi geri koyalım. Şimdilik burayı bir araştıralım. Ne bu? Cüzdan. Açıp detaylıca bakalım.
Ackerman doesn't look like much of a dancer.
Balonun fişi. Bir de burada bir fotoğraf var.
This isn't what we're looking for.
Ordudaymış eskiden. Bu neymiş? Oo. Bunları niye atmıyorlar ki? Yani niye saklıyorsun?
Familiar. Safe bet it'll match the mark under Teresa Terreldson's chin.
That's that guy from the paper. Solved that big case.
The heck?
Gidelim ya buradan.
That's disgusting. Didn't you ever get done?
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
Polis merkezine gidelim.
Where are we headed?
Bir dahakine yalnız fazla bir fişekle gelelim de sıkıntı olmasın.
The husband has an alibi, but no real
Polis
motive other
işlediğinin
than
sırada başka bir
neglect.
yerde olduğunu kanıtlasa da
Jessup's
kusurlu
alibi checks
gösteremeyiz.
out. Bates is a recidivist. He'll be pulling the same stick until we put him away for good. Ackerman has history, opportunity, hard evidence. What motive?
We have the evidence. We know she was
Güzel
here.
ama buraya
All we
geldiğini
need is
biliyoruz.
confession. We can charge the bum with murder.
Hadi girelim
Going
bakalım.
this way. I don't know who these were.
Burada mı?
How long is this gonna take? I need a drink. I got the jitters.
Ackerman, you were in the Marines.
How do you know?
The Corps selected big guys for flamethrower duty. That's how
Bir
you
yer
got the
adamla
burn.
seçişti. Yanıklarım bir yüzden
Life
olmuş.
expectancy was 5 minutes for a guy in flamethrower detail. What kind of a government puts weight like that on a man's shoulders?
You'll get no argument from me. It was a heavy load.
You feeling sorry for this smelly fuck?
O adam sonuçta savaş.
Why did you
bir
kill
şey.
Mrs. Terrelson?
I have no
Bunu
recollection of
insandan
the people
hatırlamam
I've
ben.
killed.
You hate
Emin
women,
misin?
Ackerman.
More than you could ever imagine.
Daha
How much
fazla.
did you hate Mrs. Terrelson?
I ache to put my seed in them.
Ne?
Afterwards, I have no use for them.
Oğlum
A bus driver dropped Mrs. Terrelson near your camp around 2 a.m. Why did you take her up to the hill?
Which hill?
hangi tepe?
I have many places. I go where I please.
Bakalım bakalım. Kötü değiliz herhalde ya.
Hey, Ackerman. The state of
Şüphelidim.
California does not execute mental patients.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. Their necks are so fragile.
Kapat lan bu.
Stuart Ackerman, I am charging you with the murder of Teresa Terrellson.
Bence bu suçlu. Zaten introsunu da izlediğimiz şeye benziyor. Fiziksel olarak.
A man down on his luck I can abide. But a filthy red who chooses to live outside the rules of society I cannot stomach. Maybe poor Teresa Terrellson will provide the catalyst we need. I've spoken to the chief and the mayor, and I think it's time we send some men in to remove the godless and send them on their way over the county line. A grand day that will be, gentlemen. And a grand result you have brought me. You two are fast becoming my finest crusaders.
Sağ olun efendim, sağ olun. Çok güzel. Hep seçkinde bitiriyoruz ya. Bir tam yıldızla bitiremedik. Neyse, başka videolarda daha görüşmek üzere. Bye bye.